Good morning. My name is Vedavrat Kelkar, and my thesis topic is the housing typologies on untenable terrains. Mumbai is considered as fast-growing metropolis which caters for wide spectrum of inhabitants and influx migrant population from all over India. They come in search of jobs and business opportunities and their cultural requirements. The development of Mumbai started in 19th and 20th century due to industrial revolution. The revolution generated new jobs, creating choice typologies for the residents and further spread to the suburban neighborhoods. In mid 20th century, the city's continuously developing manufacturing sector which stimulated the need of cheap land, which increased the movement of suburbanization. Hence, the Vikhroli, a central suburb, situates itself along the LBS road, witnessed through the emergence and a decline of industrial revolution, which affected Vikhroli. The area faces the highest share of informal settlements due to industrial decline and land use changes. These informal settlements without active function becomes a liability to the surrounding context, which widens the social gap between them and gated communities and limits the access to the basic resources for their survival. Eventually leads to the informal settlement eradication by inhuman housing schemes from the government bodies. The thesis works on generating the model housing prototypes for SRS schemes for these informal settlements on hill slopes based on natural, social, economical factors in consideration with inference from new technological advancement regarding construction on slopes. The basic causes of shift: high land prices, cheap and better housing options in suburban contexts, and a new small-scale industries in Vikhroli Mulund belt. The left side map shows the density of a Vikhroli region from the 1935 to 2019. It shows a considerable amount of density increase. The slums. While designing the slums, these are the following factors that should be taken into the consideration, like society, work, family, habitable land, and ownership. The SRA developments have its pros and cons. Like cons are like process is lengthy, it has a lot of waiting, hence it not up to the market demand. The basic resources and the facilities are not long thought, and the residents are unable to maintain it after the construction. The site is located in Vikhroli, and Vikhroli forms a good central suburb which is well connected by the road, rail, and metro networks, which makes the site viable and important to deal with. The government of Maharashtra has a certain schemes and policies which promote TOD development and incentive-based construction in these areas. The site is located on a foothills of Mulund Ghatkopar mountain belt. The site is connected by the LBS road and to the EEH on the east and JVLR on the west. The site is situated between the Kanjurmarg and Vikhroli. The site is mainly a terraneous land which drains itself on the east side in the uh, mangroves. The left side map shows the Nagar boundaries. The site has two Nagar boundaries coinciding. One is Ambewadi and other is Suryanagar. The site has two types of reservation. One is industrial in the Suryanagar and Ambewadi, it is SDZ second zone. The site has evolved greatly from the year 2000 to 2019. At first, the site was an industrial kind of site, and then it changed into the high-rise residential as well as a slum influx. The left-hand map shows the terrain conditions of a site, a greater part of a site. As we can see that the site has a mountainous region which connects to the Sanjay Gandhi National Park in the east, in the west, and in the east it faces the direct urban form. Hence, the east side of the site has a haphazard cutting of the mountain, but on a west side it is a kind of uh, untouched land. The site drains into the eastern creeks of the Kanjurmarg. The left side map shows the terrain study of a site where the site is divided into three kinds of slopes: the steep slope, the medium slope, and as a shallow slope. The site ranges from 13 meter to 55 meter. The site has the slum typology in a present context. The left side diagram showcases as the site was a stone quarry, and after haphazard cutting of the stones, the site has become a hazardous kind of living conditions for the slum dwellers on the other side of a mountain. The landslide prone zones are on the top edges of the slums, and mostly the lower and middle zones of the slums are fully concretized. Hence, they do not experience any landslides, but the topmost slums experiences. The site area is 4 acres. These are the three typologies that are found on a site. The left one is a steep slope typology, the middle one is a nor not or minimum slope typology, and the right one is medium slope typology. All these typologies are in such a way that they are poorly built, and they are not very well ventilated as well as very well lit. The left side map shows a build form. It is mainly a G+1 kind of build form with small scale industries shown in a purple. Uh, the other map shows the amenities and open spaces currently available in a site and the religious context in a site. Um, Concluding, there are various problems like rough terrain, hence it is difficulty to access the higher grounds in the site. There are sewage issues, there are lack of sanitization facilities, the walls of the existing structures of the slum dwellers are damp and mold stricken, and due to the dense typology, there are no open spaces presently available on the site. The design statement. The program will be providing a 300 square feet of tenement for the 750 families, and the remaining tenements will be for the sale purposes. As far as infrastructure facilities, it will provide approach road, drainage system, landslide protection system, treatment plant, water segregation plant, uh, parking, recreational grounds, commercial activities, shops, community center, etc. The module development is based on a terrain conditions. The module adapts according to the site. The key services are assembled and accessible through the site is main priority. The superstructure massing designed to allow the interim spacing and shared recreation spaces. The module is placed on a different site condition on the left, emerging in a podium typology on the right. Like the module was placed on a flat plane, elevated plane, inscribed plane, and under the plane. So this podium typology, but emerge, but it requires a large cut and fill. Hence, the typology which responds to the contours was selected. The build form can have a commercial spaces that are abducting to the road and associate back typology, which enables a building to respond to the terrain, creating multiple plinth level in itself. The building structure connects road level with a vertical circulation through the step form. The build form connects the multiple road levels, enabling the connect with the terrain and building at all levels. The concept. The prototypal concept was basically the commercial on a ground floors and a step pattern to the residential one. The technology used were the micropiling techniques, the raft foundation, the gabion walls, and the gypsum walls. First, the plinth design. These are the three buildings at a lower, medium, and a steep slope terrain. The above diagram explores the possibility of horizontal movement on a terrain lands. The planes are designed in such a way that the minimum difference between the two planes is 1.5 meter and max 3 meter, where the 3 meter difference, the plinth adjoins the staircase block, and 1.5 meter difference is covered by the design staircase and a ramp along the central spine of a movement. The B1, the plinth for the B1, the lowest plinth is 40 meter, the highest plinth is 62 meter, and the lowest plinth for B2 is 34 and highest is 64. The plinth for B3 is 26 and the highest is 30 meters. The structure on an unstable slope with a uniform structural grade are more tend to deflection from the load than a foundation on the same levels. The above research paper concludes that a symmetrical level of stable foundation is preferable. In above structure, the M15 structure here acts as a desirable option, which has a minimum deflection. These concepts can be used as a structural input in my design problems. This is the plinth level plan of a building 1. It ranges from 39 meter to 48 meter, as it is mainly placed in a medium kind of slope. So it goes up and then comes down. And all these plinth are at an interval of 1.5 meter or 3 meter. Building 3. The building 3 is situated on the low or minimum slope. Hence, the building has undulating kind of plinth arrangement where it starts from 29 meter to 24 meter, then to 26 meter, and then to again 27 meter, and then to 26 meter. So these small plinth divisions uh, are due to the terrain conditions, as this building is situated on the low kind of contour level. Hence, the plinth are bigger compared to the building 1. Moving to the building 2, it connects the medium kind of slope terrain to the topmost slope terrain. It starts from 34.5 meter to 64.5 meter, and it connects 52 at a mark of 52 meter on the middle kind of terrain, and at a top 64.5 meter. This is the foundation plan for the building B2, as mainly the building is situated on a terrain land. It uses a multiple kind of foundations, like it uses a pile foundation, which is placed at certain contour levels, and which is in turn connected by the rough foundation for the plinth between the two uh, pile foundations. This is the typical structural plan of the units above the plinth levels. There are three main beams: the tertiary beam, the primary beams, and the secondary beams, and the shear walls. Mainly, the primary beams run through the outer periphery of the structure. The secondary beams act as a connecting member to the primary beam and runs along the inner circulation path, and a tertiary beams forms windows and balconies for these small units. This section showcases the input of pile foundation and isolated footing as per terrain conditions. This ensures a smaller footprint of a build form. Mainly, the isolated footings here are due to the in very certain conditions, as these all plinth are not at same levels. Hence, the combination of rough foundation and isolated footing is practiced. The upper diagram showcases the connection between uh, the rough foundation and the pile foundation of the different plinth levels, with a detail of the isolated footing. The foundation is a step profile as a slope is very steep. The pile foundation on a raft is suitable, as these foundations are centric load enablers, as the piles are longer in a center than on a periphery. Hence, more load on residential floors can be done comparison with isolated footings. This is the reason due to which the certain levels are piled and other levels are either rough and or isolated footing. These are the details of sand piles and mat foundation. This is the illustration showcasing the foundation system, which is consisting of micro pile foundation and combined footing. The hexagonal pile caps carry load from the superstructure at a plinth level, transferring it to the piles. The interim planes are connected by the combining footing in a form of cases, in other cases, isolated footing. This is a 3D view of the plinth levels for the building B1, B2, and B3. Here, the first illustration shows the basic building blocks are being placed to understand the size ratios of a building with the site terrain. In a second form, the building units are placed and a possibility of road has been searched. And in a third, where the unit are taking form, how the road navigates itself among the terrain and moves to the topmost part of a terrain is analyzed. In a fourth one, the first build form is made. The road and internal pathways are explored with a slope analysis of a road and design of other factors which takes place like public amenities like recreation spaces, parking and all. In a fifth one, the buildings are responding to the road, creating small courtyards. This streamline unit is maintained. Here, all the units are making a form, and this form is corresponding to the contour, creating a extra road and building connect here, which is enabling a cross level connectivity with as an informal pathways and also the formal pathways. In a sixth form, the all the small forms club and becomes a kind of larger kind of form and becomes a three main building which are segregated, and the road is analyzed and insertion of public amenities in a master plan is analyzed. In a sixth one, the possibility of movement through the site and creating a lively ground floor levels is tried with recreation spaces, parking spaces, and weekend markets and other ancillary functions are incorporated. In a seventh one, the works on segregation, analyzation, and usable open space in between the two build form is analyzed. This is the final kind master plan, which shows the liveliness at a ground floor level, where all these informal pathways navigate through the terrain informally. And connects each other at different intervals as this upper build forms connect the middle kind of slope levels to the higher slope levels, yet they are connected by the road access. Moving further, this is a master plan showcasing the important functions of the built form on the site, like urban farming, internal pathways, high-end residential settlements, public path, residential buildings, sewage segregation zones, water treatment plants, and weekend flea market. Moving further to the master plan, this is a master plan which is the slopes on a lower level from 29 meter to 36 meter, where basically the building 3 exists and building 2 starts to build on. This is a master plan from 36 meter to 45 meter, where the building form emerges, where the building 2 ceases and building 1 and building 2 tries to develop at every 36, 39, 42, 45 level. And all these cuts are along the main vertical corridors like staircase and lift. This is a master plan at 45 to 54 meter level, where the building 1 and building 2 successive modules are shown. And this forms a middle slope terrain where the levels are ranging from 45 meter to 54 meter, where the interim contour levels are relatively greater. Hence, the plinth level are relatively bigger. Smaller than the lower building plinth levels, but relatively bigger than upper ones. This is a master plan at upper level at 54 to 63 meter, where the building 1 and 3 coincides to form a simultaneously single level. This is a unit design. It is basically a 300 square feet of unit where which caters different needs of the residents. The structural plan and its main members are the shear walls, and it is has a primary beams running along the periphery with a secondary beams and tertiary beams giving a rigid support to the structure. It is moving further, a unit design, the process behind it. The process started with the form, tackling the curviness of the form with design of a layouts that incorporate the curves in a unit design that responds to various kinds of functions. The above diagram tries to evaluate the alternate layouts of the existing unit design, creating a different circulation process for the building. Moving further, the building basically uses a hybrid technique, as it uses cast in situation slabs and uh, piles foundation with the basic units as a precast structure, where they can made offshore and transported here. So this shows the connection between the slab and a wall, and a column and a foundation of a beam, and the beam with a column. This is the building one, where the vertical and horizontal is movement shown in the right. The building consists of three kinds of zones: residential, hybrid, and commercial. As we go up, the commercial changes to hybrid, where the commercial and residential both coexist, and then it comes at a common level where the residential level exists. This is the plinth level plan for the building one. It ranges from 39 meter to 48 meter. The plinth ranges. So after that, the typical floor plan emerges. So this is a typical floor plan after 48-meter level, where there is an doubly loaded corridor, where ample amount of spaces are given in between the units, as well as these units serve as uh, a very efficient way for the circulation of a building. This is the alternate floor plan of a building, where it comes after the typical floor plan. It enables the light and ventilation into the build form, as the areas marked in a black are the corridor spaces. In a typical floor plan, the blue spaces are marked as a corridor spaces, but here the corridor space significantly reduces, enabling the ventilation and light penetrate to the normal floor plan. This is the section where the building ranges from 7.5 meter to 38.65 meter, and typically the typical floor plan ranges from 26.05 meter to 38.65 meter. Moving further, this is a 3D of building one. This is a building two, where the horizontal and vertical movement is greatly and massively dictated by the plinth. This is a plinth floor plan. Here the plinth goes from lower kind of contours to middle, and then higher contours from 34.5 meter to 64.5 meter, where it has a range of 1.5 to 3 meter changes between each contour, each plinth level. Moving to the typical floor plan, this starts at 46.335 meter, where after that the alternate floor plan starts. It has significantly reduced kinds of corridor spaces, enabling the light and ventilation to the build form. Moving further, this is a 3D of a building 2, where you can see how the building responds to the terrain. As the terrain goes up, it tries to balance its form according to terrain, and at a top level it becomes a unified form. This is the building 3, where the terrain conditions are relatively flatter, where the horizontal movement is not dictated by the terrain but by the build form of a building. Here mainly the residential and a horizontal kind of development is practiced rather than a vertical kind of development. The plinth level ranges from 29 meter, then again to 24 meter, then to 26 meter. So there is undulations in plinth level. And then moving further to the typical floor plan, it is also same doubly loaded kind of corridor, where the efficiency of a building form is analyzed, creating the typical floor plan and alternate floor plan. This reduces the corridor space, creating urban regenerative spaces in between the build form for the residents, and it enabling the light and ventilation. The typical floor plan starts here at 13.30 meter, and every alternate level it ceases at 38.50 meter, and alternate floor plan starts at 16.46 meter. So this is the front elevation as well as a 3D view of a building. So this is a wall section, mainly cutting to the residential units and the pile foundation beneath of this. Basically, it is cutting through the retaining wall kind of section, where it is basically of building 2, where the terrain conditions are such that there is a sudden cut and fill of 6 meter. So we need to input a retaining wall, then to give a pile foundation, then to give a raft foundation in further downward levels.